Hey, this is Pierre-Yves Delacote speaking. Understanding permissions in teams. So let's investigate what you can do in terms of permission in teams. So I'm gonna just create a team and go through some processes and explain where permissions can be set. So first, when you create a team, you need to be able to do that. So not all the organization will allow everybody to create a team. So you need to put people ask your IT admin to put the people you want in a security group that can create a team. As soon as you can create a team, then you be able to join and create a team and create a team. So I'm going to create a team from scratch. And here you have three type of teams. Probably in most organization you will only see private and public, but there's org-wide too. So private is open, not open to everybody. So if you search for the team, you won't find it. Public will be open to everybody to join. They can search and find the team and join the team. An org-wide team is team that will include all the organization directly. So that's why usually you don't see that often because you don't want to have you know somebody notifying all the team, all the organization with a post. So but it can be done. So let's do a private team, give it a name. So now we have a, a private team. So basically, people cannot uh, access to the team or see whatever documents are in the team if you don't invite them. So the first thing you can do is invite people. And when you invite them, you can decide if they are owner or member. So there are you know, different permissions between owner and member. It's not a big difference. The big difference is to be able to invite other people. If you're owner, you can invite other people. Um, but there are other differences that I've already shared. Uh, there's a SharePoint, a Microsoft site which describes all the differences between owner and member. I can share that with you under this post. So you can define, usually the convention is to have two owners. Um, so if somebody is leaving the company or is off, then there's always an owner to be able to do extra stuff that a member cannot do. So I'm going to add another person as a member. Let's stop there. So first, you can set as owner. You can set some permissions in the settings of the team. As you can see, there's member permissions. So you can define if you allow members to create and update channels. So maybe sometimes you want to control, especially if it's a visible team, you don't want everybody to create a channel or update a channel, modify the name of the channel. So you can uncheck that. Um, and you can also, you know, block people to create private channels. So I'm not going to list all those permissions, but that's where you're playing with the permissions regarding what a member can do, um, and also the guest permission. Um, you can manage external users, guests, what they can do or not. So that's basically where you play with the settings. The- So it's some sort of permission for the team. Also, in a channel, you can play with other permissions, so you can manage a channel, and you can. It's not called permissions. It's moderation preferences. So you can, for a channel, define who can post. only owner, everybody, um, and you can fine tune. There's three options here. A good example is if you usually you use a general channel to post an announcement and other channel to do the work. So maybe for the announcement channel, if it's general, you might want to only owners can post a message. Everybody can reply to the message, but only owners can post the message. So it won't pollute with other communication because people are um, defaulting to general when they're joining a team or when they're reaching a team. It falls into the general channel. So the tendency is for the people to post there. They might not look at other channels to post their questions or their comments. So that's why usually we recommend to change the general permission in a way to this option only owners can post messages and dedicate this channel to communicate um, official milestones or whatever it is, announcements in this channel, and only owners can do that. So that's the general permission for a team. Now what you need to understand is the members can have access to all the channels except if there's a private channel. So if I create a channel, when you create a channel, you name it. And you have two options. Either it's standard or private. So when you create a private channel, what happens there? You have to invite people to the channel. So that's where it can be tricky because you can invite people. So I can invite only people who are part of the team. Okay. I'm just going to invite Noah here. You can define if they are the owner of the channel or not. So they have more permissions. But once it's done, you cannot reverse to a standard channel. That's one thing you need to know. A private channel, which shows with a locker here, cannot be reversed to a public standard channel. Then there are some features you won't be able to add some tabs. Tabs going to be missing like forms, calendar, etc. There's some limitations here. People who you didn't invite into the channel, when they land to the team into the team, they will only see the channel that are standard. They won't see there's a secret channel. They won't see it. Only people who have access to the channel will see the channel. And also, what is important to understand is that behind the channel, there's a structure in SharePoint. In fact, a team behind a team, there's a SharePoint site. So if I go back to this team, for example, and I'm going to create another channel, a standard one. Here, by the way, you should click here so everybody will see the channel when you create it, because if not, it will be hidden. It will be like that. Did I click on hidden? So if I go there, it will be like that. And you will have to go there and show it again. So if you want to be sure people see the channel, don't forget to click when you create the channel. So when I look, if I go to General and I go to Files, you will see I open in SharePoint. You will see there's a document library with, under the document library, a General folder, a demo channel folder. Oops, let's do that correctly. So I see there's a general folder, a demo channel folder. So basically there's one folder under this document library for each channel, but not for private channel. So you need to know that behind a private channel, there's a SharePoint, but it's a SharePoint. Let's open it. It's a dedicated SharePoint site. As you can see, there's a dedicated SharePoint site with a document library called documents with a folder called secret channel. So when you create a private channel, every time you create a private channel, that creates a SharePoint site. Every time you create a team, that creates a SharePoint site. Every time you create a channel, that won't create a SharePoint site unless it's a private channel. So that's what it might be a little bit complicated to manage private channels, because then you don't have the same structure. So for one example, if you want to sync on your computer all the channels from a team, if you sync there, you won't have the secret channel. So you will have to go there and sync the channel. Also, the permission will be different, because here it's only people who have been invited to the channel, to the private channel, who have access to that. Here, all the members will have access to all the channels. Though that's important to understand the differences between a private channel and a standard channel. There's some implication in terms of security. So I don't know if I can show access. So who has access to that? So you can, if you want to play with security, which I don't recommend, that's where you need to add people directly here. And there's more options if you want to go into, the details of SharePoint permission. But usually, if you go there, you might have some issues deconnecting, the team's expected behavior with all the potential you can do in SharePoint. And quite frankly, SharePoint, the first complaint about SharePoint was the management of permissions. So I will suggest you not to change it, even if you can add a document. Let's take a document, whatever document. Let's take this document. Into a SharePoint folder. Did I drag it correctly? Let's take another one just to be sure. Okay. Let's take a. Ooh, when user explorer is slow. Okay, so let's go to this one. I can eventually share with some people this document, this individual document. But then you're breaking all the rules, all the permissions, and that can be risky. So the recommendation is not to manage the the access of documents. Only people who have access to the channel will be able to see the document, modify the document if it's a Office document. Um, so also the recommendation is to always stay in Teams because it simplifies the user experience. You don't want to make things complicated unless you're really an expert and go in SharePoint and manage maybe more specific situation where you want to, I don't know if you want to change the permission or not. Um, so I think that's the main permissions you can find in Teams. So there are the first the type of team, private or public or org-wide. Then there are the settings for the teams. You can define what a member can do or not. Then there is um, the type of channel, standard or private. And then there is the permission around the document or folder that you can eventually change, but we really don't recommend to do that. Hope this overview around permission in Teams was helpful.